Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into a coin mystery you may have seen online. Coins marked Washington $1, or sometimes 1789 to 1797 Sacagawea. Could one of these be legit? More importantly, are they worth a fortune today? Let's find out. Sacagawea. Dollar coined with clear corrections where dates or terms look mixed up and with up-to-date market examples and sources. Sacagawea herself was a real Shoshone or possibly Hidatsa, woman born around 1788-1789, whose life became a symbol of exploration and cultural contact during the Lewis and Clark expedition. So when you see years like 1789 attached to Sacagawea, it most likely refers to her approximate birth era rather than any coinage date. The Sacagawea $1 coin, however, is a modern U.S. mint product first issued in 2000 and not a late 18th century coin. So any references to 1797 in the context of a Sacagawea dollar are almost certainly a mix-up of historical dates and should be corrected for accuracy. The French Republican motto Liberté, Egalite, Fraternit, and words like Republic or the Latin-derived honorific Regina used on coins of monarchies to indicate the queen come from very different political and cultural traditions than the imagery used on the U.S. Sacagawea dollar. Nevertheless, discussing them together can make for a fascinating comparative piece about how nations use short inscriptions and portraits to broadcast values. Republics often emphasize liberty and equality. Monarchies name their sovereigns, for example, Elizabeth II Regina, and the U.S. chooses symbolic figures like Liberty historically and a real Native American woman for the Sacagawea dollar to communicate national stories. In designing a long, detailed script, you can explain that inscriptions are shorthand civic messages. Liberté announces an ideological project. Regina announces legitimacy by lineage. And the Sacagawea dollar announces exploration, continuity with frontier history, and a recognition, however imperfect, of indigenous contribution. Then pivot to concrete numismatic facts so viewers understand value versus symbolism. The Sacagawea dollars produced for circulation in 2000, Philadelphia P, Denver D, and the special Philadelphia Cheerios promotional pieces were struck in large numbers, and most common circulated examples remain worth face value $1, or only modest premiums in uncirculated rolls. For instance, standard loose 2000p Sacagawea dollars still commonly trade near $1, while original rolls or mint state pieces can sell for tens of dollars rather than hundreds or thousands unless they are a recognized variety. That said, collectors covet specific varieties and authentic mint errors. The so-called Cheerios Sacagawea of Philadelphia struck piece with particularly bold tail feather detail from the promotional distribution is a well-known variety that can command thousands of dollars in high grade and specialist registers and auction. Records show top examples selling in the low five-figure range historically, with many certified examples selling for a few thousand, depending on grade. Even more dramatic are genuine mule error coins struck with the obverse dies of one design and the reverse dies intended for another. And the modern Sacagawea series has produced famous mule examples, for instance, rare Sacagawea quarter mule combinations that have reached five-figure prices at major auctions. Auction houses and numismatic press have documented mule and double denomination oddities selling for tens of thousands and, in exceptional cases, six figures when the grade and provenance are extraordinary. To help viewers and collectors separate hype from reality, explain practical identification tips, check the mint mark and date, examine eagle tail feather detail and other known die markers for Cheerios. Examples: look for obvious minting anomalies, double dies, off-center strikes, mismatched obverse, reverse indicating a mule. And always avoid cleaning a potentially rare coin since cleaning destroys numismatic value. If you suspect a rare variety or error, get high-quality photographs and have the piece authenticated and graded by a recognized grading service PCGS or NGC, because certified provenance and grade are what produce the big auction prices. For rough present market figures, you can quote to an audience. Ordinary circulated Sacagawea dollars approximately equals $1 face value. Uncirculated business strikes or boo rolls often trade for roughly $20, $50 depending on grade and demand. Well-graded Cheerios, prototype, reverse, specimens and scarce high-grade varieties can fetch from low thousands to tens of thousands of dollars at auction top. Certified specimens have historically reached near $30,000 in isolated sales, and verified Mintera mules, extremely rare and verifiable, are the ones that can reach into the high five or even -1 figure territory because price is time sensitive and driven by certification and provenance. If you plan to present hard dollar figures in a video script, say something like as of exact date. Authenticated specimens have sold in the range of $X to $Y, and cite the auction or PCGS NGC population of price guide you used. That keeps your audience informed and avoids the danger of an outdated price claim. And end with practical steps for anyone who thinks they've found a rare Sacagawea. Don't clean it. Take clear photos of reverse edge. Consult a reputable dealer or third-party grading house and check recent auction records. Heritage, Stack's Bowers, PCGS price guide before assuming extreme value. The next up, top 2. The coin you mentioned combining elements such as Liberty, Eaglite, Fraternit, the word Republic, the figure of Sacagawea, the year 1841, the denomination of $1, and the inscription Regina, is an unusual and fascinating case to examine because it merges features from different traditions and eras of coinage. On one side, liberty, equality, and fraternity are the famous motto words of the French Republic, first adopted during the French Revolution in the late 18th century, and later permanently associated with Republican values. The word Republic also reflects French design influence, suggesting a symbolic or commemorative connection rather than a standard United States issue. On the other side, Sacagawea is a Shoshone woman who guided Lewis and Clark during their expedition in the early 1800s and later became immortalized on the United States golden $1 coin first issued in the year 2000. Adding to this mix, the year 1841 predates both the official Sacagawea dollar and even the general concept of women being portrayed prominently on U.S. currency, since during that century coins were dominated by allegorical figures of liberty or by portraits of monarchs in Europe. The presence of Regina, a Latin term meaning queen, usually seen on British and Commonwealth coins beside the name of Queen Victoria, Victoria di Gracia Regina, ties this piece further into a 19th century European stylistic context. From a numismatic point of view, this combination strongly suggests that the coin in question is not an official circulating U.S. dollar from 1841, since no Sacagawea coins existed at that time. Instead, such a piece is likely either a fantasy coin, commemorative medal, or privately struck token that blends together Republican ideals, Native American symbolism, and royal or allegorical inscriptions. Collectors sometimes refer to these as fantasy issues or mules when designs from unrelated coins are paired together. Such items often attract curiosity because they are rare, unusual, and serve as conversation pieces among coin historians. The inscription Liberty Eaglite, Fraternit points toward a French revolutionary spirit, Regina points toward the Victorian era, and Sacagawea points toward later American cultural commemoration. It is as if the coin is a symbolic fusion across time, linking Native American heritage, European Republican ideals, and royal iconography. In terms of historical significance, Sacagawea is a figure who embodies courage, guidance, and cultural bridge building. Born around 1788, she played a crucial role in helping Meriwether Lewis and William Clark during their Course of Discovery expedition, 1804 to 1806, translating, guiding, and negotiating with tribes along the journey. Her image on modern coins reflects themes of exploration, unity, and respect for native contributions. Had Sacagawea appeared on an 1841 dated coin, it would have been groundbreaking, because women, and especially Native women, were not honored in mainstream U.S. currency until much later. That is why any 1841 Sacagawea coin is almost certainly not a government issue but a later fantasy or commemorative strike. Now, when it comes to market value, the worth of such a coin depends on whether it is a genuine U.S. mint issue. In this case, it is not, because Sacagawea dollars start from the year 2000. A historical token or fantasy piece made in the 19th or early 20th century. Such medals or tokens can fetch between $50 and $500, depending on rarity, artistic quality, and collector demand. A modern replica or novelty coin. If it is a novelty coin produced for collectors or as a souvenir, its value might be mostly symbolic or aesthetic, ranging from $5 to $30 in the general market. A misidentified piece. Sometimes, collectors or sellers mistakenly mix up inscriptions from different coins. For example, a French or Canadian coin with Regina and Liberty. Eagle-eyed fraternate motifs may be confused with American Sacagawea themes, especially if modified or altered. Professional grading also plays a huge role. If a fantasy or commemorative coin is made of precious metals such as silver or gold, the metal content alone can raise its base value. For instance, a $1 token made of silver in the 19th century might be worth its silver melt value around $20 if pure silver, plus collectible premiums that could bring it into the hundreds if demand exists. If it is struck in bronze or brass, the value would be more about artistry and rarity rather than bullion content. Collectors often place special interest in coins that cross symbolic traditions. The motto Liberty Eagle-eyed fraternate resonates with ideals of democracy and freedom, while Regina reflects continuity of monarchy, and Sacagawea symbolizes indigenous heritage. This unique mix attracts both history lovers and coin collectors, making such a coin appealing for exhibitions or private collections, even if it is not a standard government issue. Therefore, the value in today's market to 0 to 5 can realistically range from $10 for a novelty reproduction to $300 or more for a scarce fantasy strike or commemorative medal from the 19th or early 20th century. Exceptional pieces, especially if made of silver or linked to historical events, could rise higher at specialized auctions. But it is crucial to note that no official Sacagawea 1841 $1 coin exists from the U.S. Mint. Assuming high worth, numismatist would be essential before your described coin is almost certainly a fantasy or commemorative token rather than an official U.S. Mint issue. Its inscriptions blend French Republican ideals, British royal style, and Native American commemoration, making it historically intriguing. Authenticity, condition, and metal composition, ranging roughly from $10 up to a few $100s. Symbolically, it represents a fascinating fusion of cultures and eras, embodying liberty, equality, fraternity, and the memory of Sacagawea as a guiding figure of exploration,